I am God Apophis. I am the illuminator. I am the illuminator. So what do I mean by that? I'm God. Jesus was described as the Son of Man, and also the Son of God. He was called the Son of Man. I was Jesus. And the thing is that, look at language, okay? So the sun in the sky gives life. Jesus said that, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. But obviously he said it in a different language, right? I said it in a different language. In Greek, it would be ego. And, interesting, I warned about the dangers of people's egos, right? How strange is that? So, when Moses was given the 10 Commandments and he went down, and the Israelites, they were worshipping a bull, right? They'd made a... they made a golden calf, yeah, and they were worshipping it. Yeah, that's the thing. I am the illuminator. What does toro mean? Okay, so this is Red Bull. Yeah. So, in Spanish, they call them Toro Rosso. Yeah, Toro Rosso. You know what the Torah is? Yeah. You know what tarot is? Yeah. In witchcraft, there's a thing called the Sator square. It's like a grid of letters and words, and you have like Sator and rotas and tarot. Yeah, it's called the Sator, Sator square. Sator. That's the thing. Okay, so this is really complicated. I'm trying to explain it best I can. So, I'm God, and everything around me, anything that's close to me, becomes illuminated. So all the objects that are near me, I'm sat in front of my computer most of the time. Things I watch, things I do, things I say, things I wear, the places I go shopping, the things I buy, the things I post on Facebook, the things I post on X, the things I talk about on YouTube. It affects the entire world, because my light, all the light comes from me. When I'm in the world, I am the light of the world. And people need my light. They can't live without it. I told people to love me. I told people to love me, and I would love them, and they would be blessed with my light. They'd be blessed in doing so. The thing is that most people don't, and most people all they want to do is steal my light or pretend to be me. They're attracted to things that have become illuminated. So I illuminate things, and they become obsessed with those things that I've illuminated. But they see me as nothing. They see me as darkness, as if I don't even exist. Which is interesting, because I'm sitting on this camera, I could probably turn a light on, but it's what's the time? It's it's 20, almost 20 past 2 in the morning, almost. It's the 22nd of July. It's a full moon. as well, interestingly enough. Anyways, I figured out something earlier on, and yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Yeah. I'll just say it now. I realised, well, it seems the spirits around me are telling me, and I was watching a video and I realised, because this is the thing, right? Let me explain. So ages ago, I used to think of myself almost a bit like Lot from the story of, when Lot, who was in Sodom and Gomorrah. So I grew up with a lesbian mother. When I was 8 years old, she came to me and she asked me if I minded. She asked me, and she's a Taurian, by the way. She's a Taurus. She was a Taurus, a star sign. She's dead now. Anyway, she came to me when I was a kid, and she asked me if I would mind if she was gay. And I said, "No, Mum, you can do what you like. It's your life, as long as you're happy." And I said that as a little kid. And I'm God. So, the world's totally changed, strangely. Yeah, anyways. Strange, funny story, huh? And I used to go to school and everyone would be going, "Gaylord, Gaylord, Gaylord." And I wouldn't tell any of the kids at school that my mum was gay because obviously I didn't want to hear all the gay jokes. And my mum told me not to do it. She said, keep it secret. And, back then it was quite common for people to keep that secret from people. They didn't, it wasn't a very normal thing. And, I'm talking about nearly, that's 28 years ago. So that's nearly 3 decades ago. That's not 10 years ago. I mean, I know I look young, but, I'm 36 years old. So a lot's changed since then. When I was about 13, I moved to Brighton, which is the gay capital of the United Kingdom, and it was a little bit of a shock to me. And that's the thing. Like lots of crazy stuff happened to me when I was in Brighton. It was a very crazy life for me, and I lived with a mum who had a drug problem. She was a psychopath, crazy. I was depressed, and school was a complete. It became a bit of a disaster for me, basically. So, yeah. By the way, if you haven't watched all my previous videos, I've got 95 other videos. I think no. This will be my 95th video that will be on my YouTube channel. So there's a lot to choose from. Yeah, I mean most of them are an hour long. Well, a lot of them are an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours long. Take your pick. Have a listen. So, yeah. So, I lived in a place, the gay capital of the United Kingdom. And so, I started to think of myself as kind of a bit like Lot because of what happened to me in Brighton. Because before I left Brighton, I had lots of spirits. I had demons attacking me and stuff. And I saw a demon and an angel. And I saw a demon, okay? I've seen some crazy shit. Evil angels or whatever you want to call them, right? I've seen some shit, okay? I've seen some crazy stuff. I've explained it many times before. People tend not to believe it, obviously, because they're like, "Oh, you must be crazy." But anyway, I'll carry on. So I used to think, and then I left Brighton, and obviously, the story about Lot. He lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. And the angels were sent to Lot, and before he, they said they were going to get him out, so that God wanted Lot to be removed. So that's what happened, right? So the angels took Lot and his family and wife away, right? And so I left Brighton, okay? So I left what a lot of people would call Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Because it's, people have equated the word Sodom and sodomy and sodomite, to be, a lot of people think, they call anal sex sodomy. which is an interesting thing because obviously it's, you know, it's weird, isn't it? Because a lot of people talk about it being, you know, because it was a place where homosexual, you know, some people think, you know, a lot of Christians think it has to do with homosexuality, and some people, you know, call sodomy, you know, they call it anal sex, or yeah. Anyway, the fact is, it seems, well, humans have sort of just decided on their own what sodomy means, you know. Anyway, the fact is that, you know, what was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah was obviously very evil. You know, very evil things. You know, things like, you know, things that happen with children and bondage and, you know, slavery and all kinds of horrible things. You know, people having orgies and, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's a long list of things that people could have been doing that weren't named in the, you know, it wasn't specifically spoken about. Yeah. Anyways, so I always saw myself as I kind of saw my connection to that story a bit. And that's the thing, because everyone, you know, that's the thing as well. There's so many people in the world who are mimicking me, who are pretending to be me. And, you know, when people say, you know, if I say, if I say, you know, if I ask you how much money do you have, and you say, oh yeah, a lot, or you know what I mean, or, you know, how many cans of beer do you have in the fridge? Oh, a lot. You know, what does a lot mean? Well, Lot was one guy. He wasn't, you know, a lot of guys. He was one person, right? It's a strange thing, isn't it? The word lot, how it's used in the English language to refer to plural, many. Yeah, and then many is man, Y. Well, Y is the 25th number of the alphabet. 2, that's 11. 2, yeah? You see 1, 1, 2? Yeah? That's 11. And 5 is 1 and 4 in numerology. That's my birthday, 11/14. Or 2/5. Why? You know, when people say, why, God, why? Yeah, you know, words have, you know, words manifest, there's power in words. Anyway, look. So I saw myself, you know, I saw my sort of, I felt a sort of connection to that story. And, yeah, it's interesting. So Lot was the nephew of Abraham. Yeah. So, spirits are suggesting to me that my uncle-in-law, who is called Donald, is in fact Abraham, which is fascinating. He's an accountant, you know, he does VAT and taxes and stuff like that, right? He's obsessed with the Vatican and Italy and stuff. It's really weird. Like, he likes to go to Italy, he likes to eat, you know, prosciutto and, you know, cheeses and drink Italian beer, and, you know, he wants to go around all the cathedrals, and, you know, he's super obsessed with Rome. You know, he's like, he took me there when I was about 19, actually. Took me to the Vatican. Yeah, funny that. Yeah, we went around Italy. We went to Rome, went to Florence, went to Lake Garda, and Venice as well. I went with my uncle-in-law, my aunt, and my cousin Andrew, who's King David. I've said that lots of times. Oh yeah, I'm totally convinced about that one. Yeah, I just didn't know who Donald was. And now it would seem he's Abraham, which is interesting because, you know, What was Abraham told? Well, I told Abraham, I said you'd have descendants like the sand underneath your feet, like the sand on a beach, you know, like, and that's the thing. And there's all this witchcraft being done. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God, but he's an accountant. He's a taxman, right? And he has a strange fascination with the Vatican. You know, we pay in this country, in the United Kingdom, we pay VAT, we pay VAT on everything. Literally every single thing you buy or sell, yeah, has a 20% VAT charge on it. Yeah, you understand? You know what it says about the mark of the beast? You know, 666, 36. And you know, no one would be able to buy or sell without the mark or the name or the number of the beast. Yeah. Well, look, I am God, and I am God. Well, I call myself God Apophis. I call myself God Apophis. Well, it's an interesting story. I've already explained it loads of times, but you know, there was a god in Egyptian mythology that wasn't worshipped by the Egyptians, but they saw God Apep, who's also called Apophis. That's the Greek name for Apep. And he's a god of chaos and destruction. And they consider him to be of the darkness. The darkness. Okay? So, and that's the thing. Egypt is about the darkness. Egypt is about bondage. Egypt is about, you know, they're like witches and wizards. Okay? A bunch of witches and wizards and a bondage. And, you know, there's, you know, go read the Old Testament. Okay? So, this is the thing. Okay? Apophis is, well, that's the thing. You know, the other thing is in the book of Genesis, it talks about the serpent in the Garden of Eden, and the Hebrew word for the serpent is Nakash. Nakash means the shining one. Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult thing to understand how all these pieces of the puzzle connect together, but I have to do it one step at a time, building up together. You know, if you want to watch the entire collection of videos I've made, you'd see how I progress through all of that. But there aren't very many people who've done that, obviously. Anyway, yeah, well, I'm the serpent on the pole. I said to Moses, put a serpent on the pole. And the Israelites need to look at the serpent on the pole. And if they don't look at the serpent on the pole, they'll die. And this is the situation that's happening in the world. So people can choose to ignore me. Yeah, they can. They can choose to ignore me until everyone's dead. Yeah. Does everybody want to do that, though? Is that what people want to do? You know, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to go. I'm happy either way. So, the thing is that the funny thing is about my uncle-in-law, Donald. Okay, so I grew up with Donald. You know, my dad, my mum and dad got divorced. My dad's called Charlie. He was he got my mum pregnant, and then they got divorced because he was a gambler and he lost loads of money. So they got divorced. I was born right after the Great Storm of 1987. I was born in Aberdeen, and then I moved to England. So from Scotland to England, and I lived in England. You know, I've lived in different places in the south of England, southwest, southeast, London, boarding school, Godalming, Guildford, Charterhouse, blah blah blah. Okay. So, I grew up and, I had two cousins who were basically the same age as me. One's a year older than me, one's a year younger than me. And we used to play all the time. At weekends, we'd always be playing. We'd always be hanging out. And, I would see them with their dad called Donald Neal. It's interesting because, Donald Trump, he got shot, the bullet, it hit his right ear and he got down on his knees, didn't he? Donald Neal, he was down kneeling on the stage, down on his knees. Yeah, funny that, huh? He's like, God's on my side. And everyone likes to believe that. Oh, yeah. They'd love to believe that, wouldn't they? No, that's not how it is. There's a lot of witchcraft going on. There's a war going on here, okay? And I'm trying to explain it. So, my Uncle Donald, his dad is called Joe, okay? And Donald lives in a house with a cat called Boris. So you got Joe, Donald, and Boris all under the same, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, they're under the same roof quite a lot as well. Yeah. And his wife, Donald's wife, is called Christine. Yeah, Christine Neal. She was a nun. Yeah, when people say, Grant, how many friends do you have? And I say, none. Joshua, when Jericho was invaded, when the Israelites conquered Canaan, you had Joshua, okay? Joshua was leading the Israelites into battle, right? And his mother, oh no, wait, I don't know if it was, maybe it was his dad? I don't know. It just said Joshua, son of Nun, which is really interesting because people call Jesus Yeshua. They say Iesus is actually a Greek name for Joshua. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because Joshua, son of Nun. And Jesus said he was the Son of Man, even though Joseph didn't impregnate Mary. But Jesus was a man, right? Jesus was saying, like, he's a son, he's the light of the world, and he's the son of man, even though Joseph never impregnated Mary. You know what I mean? He says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. You get it? It's all about the power of words and magic. Okay? I'm God. People talk about the Trinity. They say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am one. I'm God. Yeah, it's all me. The fact is, the situation is, with my uncle, is that there's a lot of witchcraft being done. There's a lot of demons working with the people in my family. My biological family. That was always the case. It happened to my parents, happened to my grandparents, and my cousins, and my aunt and uncle-in-law. Yeah, it's happened to all of them. Yeah, they've all been corrupted. The thing is, you think about the story about Moses in the desert and the Israelites. The Israelites were wandering in the desert for 40 years. They didn't, and God, I was telling them, like, you need to understand that you need me. Like, you can't just wander away. You can't, and stop. The Israelites, they wanted to complain and they didn't have faith that I would take care of them. And that's the thing, it's a very different, if you think about Abraham, and, it talks about Abraham's relationship with God, but then, you go forwards thousands of years to the current day. We live in a world where people feel like they don't need God anymore. They feel like they don't need me. Because they've got their TVs, they've got their internet, they've got their jobs, they've got their healthcare, they've got their car, their house, they've got their girlfriends, they've got their orgies, they've got their, their subscription to pornography or whatever it is they got, and their freaking drugs and whatever, right? Yeah, and their spirits, their whiskeys and their absinthes and, all that. They've got all their nice strong spirits and whatever, right? Getting pissed, having a great laugh, yeah, and saying God probably doesn't exist. Yeah, it's just a very different situation. I mean, you put people in a situation where they need God, where they feel like you put people in a situation where they feel like they can't survive. It's a real struggle to survive, and it's a natural reaction, isn't it, really, to want to ask for help. It's like anybody, help, please. It's God, like, you up there, help me. Well, it was very different back then, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm just making that point. Anyways, I don't know what's going on with my uncle. I haven't spoken to him for a long time. Although, strangely, I got a message this morning on my phone. It said something like, what did it say? It says, "Hi, are you working or free?" ? And I didn't, I sent a message back. I sent a video. Rage Against the Machine, bullet in the head. But, the thing is, what do I say to that? It's like, well, I don't know this number. I don't know the number. I don't know who it is. It seems like a very sort of, it seems like one of those messages. It's probing, it's asking. It's like trying to figure, it's trying to spy on me or something. Oh no, I get it. I see what's happened. Thought it might be my uncle, to be honest. Haven't had a text message from him for many years, I would say. Yeah, and I saw Joe Biden. He's fallen out of the race today. So yeah, how interesting, huh? Yeah. And then they got Kamala Harris, who's running now. What was it Jesus said? What was it I said about, a rich man? It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. It was something like that, wasn't it? Although I think some people debate exactly what the translation was, what it should be. But essentially, it's a magic. It's magic. Okay. I'll get to that later on. The fact is, I'm trying to explain I'm God. I'm the source of all power. I'm the source of the light. Nobody can live without me. And I'm the serpent on the pole. People will die. People will suffer and die without me. It makes perfect sense though, doesn't it? Because I'm God. Obviously, I've been talking about this for ages now. But this is the thing, how do I know who I am? Well, I told you, angels, demons, spirits. I'm surrounded by them. Like literally, I can feel them touching me, my body, all the time, every day. Yeah, when I go to bed, it's hard to go to sleep. It's like, yeah, I'm constantly getting poked and stuff, you know, and I got, yeah, yeah, all the time, yeah, they're all over me. Get a really stiff neck some days, which is very interesting because God said to the Israelites, "You're a bunch of stiff-necked people." Yeah, and I get they're always trying to like yank my head left and right all the time. I get a really stiff neck. Yeah, I'm having to hold my head still all day. Yeah, it's a strange life I live. Yeah. So yeah, apparently my uncle is Abraham. Wow, what an interesting situation. You know, there was a time when people would say, we're descendants of David, you know, King David, and you know, people would say, we're descendants of Abraham. And, you know, as if it's, you know, a really, you know, a claim to some fame of some kind, right? Well, you know, if my uncle-in-law is if my uncle-in-law is Abraham, well, his name's Donald, and look at, you know, Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Everybody's, you know, talking about him, worshipping him. And my uncle, you know, he just sits in front of a television screen, or he's looking at his smartphone and he's just seeing a reflection. He's just seeing magic and witchcraft going on. And he's like, yes, this is great. Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. You know, amazing. He has no fucking idea what's going on. Totally fucking blind. Yeah, completely. And his life will fall apart until he realizes who I am. I keep explaining and he ignores. He just keeps ignoring me. And the demons want him to ignore me. Because the demons don't want him to find out who I am. Because when he finds out who I am, once he really realizes that I'm God, if he does, well, those demons are, yeah, I mean, it's game over for them. That's when the scales tip. You know, that's when, well, that's, you know, that's going to be a crazy day. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, huh? I went through a lot of my life. I had no idea who I was. And then a lot of crazy stuff happened to me. And, you know, I started seeing demons, and I saw an angel in the sky. I saw an evil angel. I was being attacked. There are demons out there that are putting themselves in high places that don't like me, and they want to take what belongs to me. They won't do it. They can't stop me. They can fight me. They can try to get away with what they want to get away with. But ultimately, there's no escape from me. I win. I'm God. And the people who keep ignoring me, you're causing some really, really serious problems in this world. You think about the most horrible, evil shit that happens in this world, and you can put the fucking responsibility right on yourself for ignoring me. I told you, and you're gonna you better listen to me, because if you don't, it's gonna be on your head. You hear me? I'm getting mad. I've been doing this for so long. I can't believe how much absinthe I drank earlier on. Flippin' heck. Today, yeah, I didn't think I was going to make this video because yeah, well, anyway, strange how I almost forgot I had it. Yeah, no, I'm being serious. I have to watch children. I watch the news and I'm seeing stories of young children dying. An example, there was a girl called Star Hobson. She was being looked after by lesbians. Okay, and there was also, who was it? Arthur. Do you remember Arthur? He was murdered by, it was his dad's girlfriend. And now they're both in prison. And she killed him by giving him salt water. She was giving him water with salt in it. Sal means salt, vin means wine. Yeah, you could call it salt wine. Why would that shit be happening? Yeah. Why would that be happening? It's really interesting. Ever since I was a little kid, I was a really fussy eater. I never wanted to eat salad. People like a lot of people eat salad and vinaigrette. My surname is Salvin. Is it, people, my family, they always thought I was a really fussy eater. They couldn't understand why I was so fussy. Yeah, there's a lot of demon shit going on. A lot of witchcraft, a lot of magic, alchemy. Anyway, I've explained so much shit, haven't I? I really have. I've tried my best. What more can I do? The fact is I am the illuminator. I am the source of all light. I'm the source of life. People die without me. I'm the snake on the pole. I'm the serpent on the pole. Okay? I'm here to get what I deserve. I'm here to get my vengeance. I've lived a crap life. Pretty much. It's been a hard life. Yeah, it's been pretty hard. It's been very stressful. I'm 36 years old and I feel like nobody loves me. And I felt like that for a long time now. So yeah. I look back at my past and I think about all the shit and all the things, people who I used to call friends. Nothing. No, it was all fake. It was all about trying to get close to me because of my light. That's all they ever wanted. That's all they were corrupted, demon-possessed people who wanted what I could give them. That was all. That's all they wanted. So, I am the source. I'm God. There's no one more powerful than me. It's my power is something I know. I see it. All the shit that's going on in the world, it's all me. It's all because of me. It's all because of me. It's because demons want my light. And they're constantly trying to steal it. And so they do lots of crazy shit. And they get other people to do crazy shit. And crazy shit happens. And I'm telling everybody, hey, you better pay attention to me. Otherwise, all that crazy shit, it'll just keep happening. And, that's going to lead to a very, very bad place. That's going to lead to destruction and chaos, okay? You want the solution? I'm the solution. Watching this video? Yeah, this is the solution. I've tried convincing people, but people don't want to know. Or they leave witchy comments. Yeah. And stuff like that. Yeah. It's a constant magic battle. Well, anyway. Was there anything else I particularly wanted to say? Nah, you know what? I'll leave it there because I think it's enough. I've done loads of videos. Go watch them. Go watch all the videos I've done. You know, maybe look at all the ones I've done for the last month or something. Anyway, I'll make another video soon. Not sure what I'll make it about, but hey, we'll see.